So the last thing we're going to discuss is fetching the Bonelab data. So Bonelab data is a collection of examples that we like to use when we're testing scripts or running regression tests. So there's a repository called Bonelab data. And if you look at this repository, we have a list of files. So they include some DICOMs, AIMs, a piece of aluminum foil, some clinical DICOM images. Test25A is a very, very common example you'll have used if you've ever worked with Dr. Boyd, as well as some example N88 models getting down to rare types of images such as a mid-diaphysis HRP QCT scan. To install this, we're going to come back to our little terminal here. If you haven't already, conda activate BL. We're now going to type BL download data. Hit enter. And it's going to start up. So right here we have the URL we're fetching from. This URL points to the GitHub repository. It's going to tell us where it's going to store it. So it's going to create an anonymous directory called BL data at your home and no verify. If you want to change any of this, hit no. You can go ahead and change it by typing BL download-H. But for most of us, we're going to hit Y and enter. There's no output here. It just runs. And so it takes a bit because we are downloading a relatively large amount of data, but it just goes. So if you come back down to your Finder in the bottom, if you go all the way back to home, you'll notice that there's no repositories that have a dot in it, and that's because they're hidden. So there's actually a way to view the hidden repositories, and I cannot remember it right now. Successfully downloaded. So what we're going to do instead is say cd and cd.bl data. We're now in that directory. If we type open dot in Mac, it opens up a Finder. So you can see we're at Bezler BL data, and there's a bunch of little files in here. You might hear reference to Dr. Boyd or someone else saying, oh, tested on Test25A, maybe you want to look at one of these strain models. These are some example PQCT data. This is how you get that data, and I'd recommend you get it now so that you can work with it in the future. So that is how to fetch the Bonelab example data.